ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it.
How about it, you creep, you little bit?
Good morning, Raider Nation. Good morning, Raider Nation. What's going on this beautiful Friday morning? Happy Friday to everybody. Yes, indeed. It's the lunatic. He's back. Anyway, how y'all doing, man? Let me get into my chat and say what's up to everybody this morning. Dominique 5, good morning to you as well, my guy. 2 Red Rings, good morning. Raiders, you already know, all day long, for real. You said that'll wake you up. You damn right. You damn right. Happy Friday, everybody. Let's go ahead and we're gonna kick back for a minute, let these little links I sent out catch up to us. And yeah, it's a beautiful morning. We got a little bit of news jumping off with the OTAs and shit, some good news. I got a matter of fact, they got the position chart out as far as who do they expect playing what position. Left and Leatherwood is at tackle, of course. Hell, Cleveland Farrell does not say linebacker. It says defensive end. But all this is premature. No need to really such and such is playing this spot. We can't really do that yet. Right now, this is just the beginning. This is what they got people penciled in. It doesn't mean it's gonna stay like that. But yeah, man, let's get this shit rocking and rolling. Man, come on, y'all. We need some people up in here, man. We need some eyeballs. We need multiple sets of eyeballs, man. You know what I mean? Multiple sets. Shit. Matter of fact, while we sit up here and wait, y'all, cheers to Raider Nation. May this be a Super Bowl year. And next year, when we host it in Las Vegas, may we repeat and protect the Lombardi Trophy that we get this year in Arizona. That's right. I said that shit. Speak that shit into existence. You know what I mean? Top of the AM, everybody. Friday morning, OTAs yesterday. Did any of you guys get to check out the media portion of the interviews with Josh McDaniels yesterday? Colton Miller as well as Perryman. Did you guys get to see that? If not, here, I'm gonna let y'all listen to it while we sit here and hopefully more people pull up. But in the meantime and in between time, you got your thing and I got mine. Damn. Throwback old school hip hop. You feel me? So let's go ahead and then I want to see what Josh McDaniels, and as he said, in case you guys were wondering, since they did bring in Kaepernick for a workout, Kaepernick was not brought in to be fighting Carr for that number 1 spot. They said, McDaniels, that is, said, this is Carr's team. He is the leader of this team, and that is correct. That is very, very correct. So what we're going to do is, where's the Josh McDaniels interview? Okay, with the Raiders. I'm not going to bring it on screen because I know they talk that copyright shit, even though I can do it. But
the new best way to make
shut
money
your
online
punk
that
ass
nobody's
up.
talking.
But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and listen to some of Josh McDaniels' giddy up. You know what I mean? Man, dismiss that shit. And listen to what he had to say. You know what I mean? He made some very good points. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna be quiet and let y'all listen. We can at least do that this morning while y'all getting dressed and drinking your coffee and eating your scrambled eggs and bacon and hash browns with your hot cakes with syrup and butter on that motherfucker. You know what I mean? If you get a little fancy with it, get some strawberries and some whipped cream. Hell, throw a little bit of powdered sugar on that motherfucker, boy, and enjoy your Friday. All right, I'm shutting the fuck up now.
Extending
our condolences and sympathies to.
This is
the
Josh
families
McDaniels
of
after yesterday's
the
OTAs.
the school shooting in Texas.
Let me turn this up,
that
son.
lost
I'm gonna shut the
obviously a
fuck
lot
up
of
so y'all can
innocent
listen
lives.
real quick, and then we'll go
There's a
over what
lot
he
of
was
us here
saying.
that have kids, and that hit home pretty hard. And a lot of our guys and coaches and people in our organization have been talking a lot about that, praying for them and their families, and obviously anybody that was affected by that. So just want to start by talking about that. And then, 3 days in, a lot of work that has already been done, a lot of work to do. Guys are working hard, as you can see out there, and, a long way to go. Excited about, the guys that we have here and the intentions that they bring every day, the attitude that they're preparing with, what they're trying to accomplish each day.
Shout out to Van City Raider. We're listening to Josh McDaniels' interview yesterday after the OTAs.
Clean up, a lot of things to get better at.
So we're just listening this morning.
I like where we're at.
Josh, Sam Gordon here, Las Vegas Review Journal. Could you share with us how the workout with Colin went yesterday and what he could bring to this ball club potentially?
Yeah, I won't, just by a standard procedure. We won't only talk about the people that are on our team. I mean, Dave and his staff have worked out tons of guys, this spring. And we really don't make comments about the evaluations that we made or, what they look like, what they didn't look like, strengths and weaknesses, those kind of things. They're kind of, private, obviously, for us as we look at things to try to make decisions to make the team better. And, if players are added to the team, then obviously we'll talk about them at that point. But, I respect the question 100%. I understand. But that's kind of what
Two red rings almost has a personality, huh? You could tell he's settling in.
Like I said, we brought in tons of people for workouts, and if there's an opportunity to improve the team, we said it from day one that we would look at every opportunity and
exactly leave no rock unturned.
We looked at, not the last one. So there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna come in and out of this building and
listen what he's saying.
Have an opportunity to make an impression. And like I said,
he's talking about other players going into the building and trying with the team. You never know who.
Make a decision to add somebody to the team, then we'll do it.
June 1st, baby. We can't wait.
Information to your team, the new offense, new defenses. How are they assimilating and grasping it? Are you pleased with it? Would you talk about that process?
Yeah. I'd say the wheel's spinning pretty good right now. And that's just the nature of this time of the year. The hours are a little restricted, so there's less you can do in terms of meeting times and those kind of things. So the mornings are kind of power packed in terms of information flow. They're doing a great job of trying to stay up with the information, and they're learning a new language, quite honestly, in each phase of the game. So whenever that's the case, the first thing you have to do is really start to understand the verbiage. One word can tell a lot of people a lot of things.
I hear you, Van City.
And,
for
whether
real.
we're giving the calls
I'm excited too.
or we're guys, getting the calls, there's a lot that can happen. So we know there's a lot of variables on each play. Like I said, there's a lot of mistakes, but that's how we get better, from going out and just trying to compete the way that we can compete now, which is not really physical, but the mental part of it. There's stress out there. We added the music today to simulate some noise. That just made the communication that much harder.
They're getting into the groove.
The attention, the effort, the attitude we have is tremendous.
Yes.
And, a long way to go before we can really say we got it. We understand everything.
Yeah.
But after 3 days of this,
they're working towards that though.
With kind of where we're headed.
Can you talk about Colton real quick? I mean, obviously, play speaks for himself at this point, but whether it's
now this is him on Colton Miller.
What have you learned from him in the tiny bit?
Yeah, he's one of our best workers. There's no doubt about it, and you can see why he has improved each year that he's been in the National Football League. He puts a lot of time and effort into it in the facility. He works really hard in the weight room. He's in great condition. He studies hard. So. In order to be really good in this league, there's a lot of things you got to do well. And, Colton gives a great effort every day at everything that he's responsible for. He's got things we've identified already that he can improve on, and he's working hard to try to do that. And we'll continue to work that way as we go into training camp. But, he's got a great attitude, a great approach every day. He's got an improvement mindset, each time he walks in the building. He's here early and he stays late, and in order to be a really good football player in this league, you got to do some of those things. And Colton's a great leader for us. Brings a lot
That's
of
our
others
left tackle,
along with
y'all.
him, which is great. Affects his
That's
teammates.
our
That's how to
cornerstone
play.
on that offensive line.
So they would get a lot of snaps and tackle. Is that kind of the plan initially for him right now?
Yeah, we're there's we've been moving them around a little bit. Each one of the guys up front. We've got some guys playing center and guard. We've got some guys playing on the right side and the left side. We've got some guys playing tackle and guard. So there was a little bit more of a focus of that today for him, but. Ultimately, we're going to try to figure out who the best 5 are that can give us the best chance of success every
the
play.
best 5. They're moving people around on that offensive line
right now to try to
see the
give
best
us the
fit.
Right stuff wherever we put him.
Yes.
And today, it so happened, like you said, it was more at right tackle. So I like his attitude. I like what he's doing. I like that whole group just works. They come to work every day. They don't really say a whole lot, and they grind it out.
That's the O-line he's talking
pleased
about.
with the effort that they're giving us. And again, we're asking a lot of some of those guys in terms of moving. Because that gives us an opportunity to evaluate multiple people,
make them interchangeable on that offensive line.
We don't
solid.
want to get into
solid.
A habit of this is the only guy that I'm ever going to play beside, because there's a lot of things that those 2 people or 3 people have to talk about, and a lot of words that mean things to him. So, he's doing a good job. He false started once today, but I mean that's going to happen when we hit the noise.
Ask you about that. You mentioned some mistakes; those are inevitable this time of year. But some guys running some laps.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just drawing a line and saying, "Hey"?
Now watch this.
I would say they were probably just as responsible for that, wanting to do that, because it wasn't a good period, and they know that. I'm not going to be out there cracking a whip on that.
Listen to this.
If it's not, we're not doing the right things in a football game, there's going to be some consequences, and usually they're negative. And so I think they understand the concept of that. We don't play well, we don't practice well. Ultimately that's going to lead to bad results. So weren't having a very good period. It's very sloppy, lack communication, lack some detail. And so, just try to get it back, and thought they rallied a little bit as practice went on, did a better job of communicating and kind of, righted themselves offensively. And,
yes,
and sometimes that stuff can happen.
Yeah, he's like that.
Now, just to stop for a minute, as you can hear, the offensive line, they're here to work. He said there's very little talking. They're just get down to it. He's been moving people around on the offensive line. He does not want people to get used to a person either on their right or left. So they're becoming interchangeable. He said that they had a few false starts, which is expected this early, but they were the ones to initiate the offensive linemen to run laps when they fucked up. That's taking accountability. Now you see the difference that this regime and these coaches are bringing to this team. They're bringing accountability to each and every player on this team. And the offensive line, that shows you right there. They said, like he said, they're the main part of going running laps when they fucked up, because they know if you don't practice well, you don't play well. That is a good mentality to install in your players, and that's what Josh McDaniels is doing. Salute Josh McDaniels. Now let's continue on. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Players take it upon themselves to hold themselves accountable like that.
That's what you want. That's what you want ultimately. I certainly, there's an element of direction and those kind of things, but when they understand what the standard is and they realize that they're not living up to it, that means you got them, thinking the right things, and if there's anything I could say about this group, I think they believe in, themselves, their teammates, what they're doing, how they work, and they want to put their best foot forward every day. And so when they don't, I think they recognize that, and they know they can do better, and they will.
Josh, Derek is obviously your guy. You guys
it starts in the trenches.
But given the Kaepernick's popularity,
it starts in the motherfucking trenches, and they already installing that mindset.
For a workout, is there any conversation there?
I think Derek's pretty comfortable with where he's at.
Listen about Derek Carr.
For us, he knows how I feel about him, how we feel about him, and
he is our quarterback.
I don't think that's really a big thing to Derek at this point. I think he knows this is his football team.
This is Derek Carr's team.
And he's working like it on the field, and he's leading the way that we want him to lead, and he's doing all the right things. I couldn't ask more from Derek Carr.
I'm telling you, Carr and McDaniels, That's gonna be you think that's gonna be
You
dangerous.
mentioned
That's gonna be damn dangerous.
players being here and working hard, learning the new system and so forth. And I don't know what the percentage, 99% are here, whatever, nobody knows now, whatever. But is it partially because they got so much to learn, and if they weren't here, they'd be falling behind big time? And what are the characteristics of this team?
Yeah. I think the weather doesn't, I mean, the weather's not a negative. I've been, other places where it's raining and windy and cold and all that at this time of the year. So I think a lot of guys enjoy being here. I think we have a great place to work out and train in the off season, whether that's with us or on their own here. But I think that there probably is certainly a level of urgency and excitement to gain knowledge in the system and learn the material that is going to be presented to them. And we talked about that at the very beginning. Every coaching staff in the NFL, every coaching staff in college and high school, you have to have some language. That's the only way that we can communicate with each other. And so our staff happens to know the language that we know. It doesn't mean it's right for everybody. It doesn't mean it's the best. It just is what we know. And so they understand that we're trying to teach them that language and so that they can use it and be productive. So I'm excited. Like I said, we haven't had perfect attendance. That's, it's a voluntary part of the off season. We understand that. But excited probably doesn't do it justice in terms of, us being eager to coach the guys that are here every day, looking forward to pouring into them, every single day that we have the opportunity to work with them. You could see their spirit and attitude today. I mean, they're out there working. I mean, what is it, 94, 95 degrees, whatever it is. They didn't flinch. And so I really like the spirit that we come to work with every day. We got great leadership from our leaders across the board on this football team. And they're really doing a great job of setting the bar high.
Shout out Fear the Nation.
To try to reach it.
Josh,
Shout out to you, my guy, for real. Thank you for pulling up.
You signed Chase Garbers and Nick Mullins and traded for Jared.
We're just going over. Hold on. We're just revisiting the Josh McDaniels interview after OTAs yesterday. So we're just listening to what he's saying and trying to break it down as far as there's little, like what they call them, Easter eggs. There's little Easter eggs in his little comments if you pay attention, but it's all positive. So that's what I want to hear. I want to hear, is he confident in what they're doing and what they're installing with this team and the players that he have? And so far, he's saying all that shit. He's saying the right shit. And especially with the offensive line, that's key. Because everybody knows it starts in the trenches with offensive line and defensive line. So we're just going over his little interview you had yesterday after OTAs and just breaking it down. That's all we're doing. I'm not going to go into Colton Miller or Perryman this morning, but we're going to go with not Josh Jacobs. See, and somebody told me, you always get Josh Jacobs and McDaniels mixed up because they both fucking name is Josh. Somebody JJ and JM. But anyway, so let's continue back and breaking down what he's saying about this team and what the potential lies with them.
Why was that such an important point of emphasis?
I mean, there's nothing, there's nothing more important than that position. And so, people say, well, you got it established. We certainly do. And, the next guy in line, you don't really talk about him until he's the most important guy in your organization when the starter gets hurt, and so I know there's a lot of us on the staff that have lived through some of those injuries. I certainly have experience with that, and so that's this is one of the toughest positions, if not the toughest position to play in all of sports. So to try to constantly, shuffle through and make sure that you're doing the best you can to provide competition in that room and to have guys in there that can learn and play and produce in your system.
2 red rings. I don't know who hasn't
of any football team
showed up,
and,
but
we're encouraging the
long as majority
right
is there.
They're all competing with each other, whether it's an individual drill, a 7-on-7
competition
drill,
there.
I think our football team understands
yes
that, competition is the way for each player to improve.
Man.
If you're out there working on your own and there's no threat of competition, sometimes you can get lazy,
get lackluster,
and lackadaisical. And so we're trying to promote that at every spot we can, and we've got a full roster basically right now, and those guys are all out there working hard. But the guys that we have now are learning. There's really, like I said, you mentioned it, there's a bunch of young players in our system right now. And so each day is an opportunity for them to grow. Derek's been tremendous in terms of his ability to learn it, pick it up pretty quick.
Okay.
So he kind of pushes it a little bit, which is great. And then, the other guys are coming along.
To piggyback off that, because earlier,
Man, I'm telling you, Carr McDaniels is a perfect marriage.
These first 3
Perfect
days,
marriage.
and that they really sort of picked things up in the quarterback room with those 4 guys. Is it a big difference, comprehensive, in terms of what they've had to learn, and how pleased are you with what you've seen that they've had to sort of soak in and put it out there for the last?
You're talking about what they've had to learn before they got here?
Yeah, with the new system.
You mean before they got here? You're talking about what they've been asked about before they got here, or since we've been here? Oh, I mean,
NorCal Raider Jesse, what's up with it, man? Good morning to you,
that,
my guy. Thank you for
just
pulling
came
up.
here after the draft.
Let me pause this real quick. In case you don't know what we're doing, we're revisiting the McDaniels interview after the OTAs yesterday. Just basically listening to what he's saying and getting the little Easter eggs and you know what I mean, from what his responses is. And so far, everything is pointing in the right direction. What he's expecting and actually how the players are taking it upon themselves to get better during these OTAs, which is beautiful to hear, especially the offensive linemen. But that's all we're doing. We're revisiting and breaking it down. So I'm gonna finish this out. I'm not gonna do Colton Miller or Perryman. We're just gonna do McDaniels this morning and just go, pick through it and see what we learned. And you guys are more than welcome though in the chat. If you hear something and read in between the lines, hey, post it so we can all know. All right. So I'm gonna go back to the thing now.
His butt off. It's just a lot of stuff, and in college football, there's a lot of this stuff that we ask them to do that they don't really necessarily do a lot of. So he's poured himself into it. He's grinding away every day, makes some mistakes, tries to learn from them. And Nick and Jared are both, veteran guys. They've got some experience, not a ton, but eager, smart. All of them are smart, so there's no question about that. And there's some competition. They're making some good plays, and then there's some things to learn from. So just excited about that whole group, the way they work with each other, the way they push each other. That's what we're looking for.
A few more ago. Adam, Levi, and Q. You've been in this position before, but it's been a while. What does it feel to kind of be, running practice in the way that everybody has their roles, obviously, but to have your voice kind of be where it is now?
Yeah. I've been looking forward to an opportunity like this for a number of years now. And I'm so blessed to have the staff that we have and the group that we have working, and the support staff that we have around me. I mean,
he's lucky to have that staff. And I'll tell you why he's lucky to have that staff. I'll tell you.
Schedule and on time.
Just we'll listen to this first.
And those kind of things. But I couldn't say enough things about the staff here. The strength and conditioning guys, the trainers, the equipment people that make this thing go. They do a tremendous job, and then our coaching staff is doing a great job. They're here real early. They're here late at night, just making sure all the information is prepared. And, but I feel like I've learned a lot. I feel like it's slowed down for me for sure. Doesn't mean anything at this point in time of the year. Doesn't have any bearing on what's going to happen, down the road. But definitely feel a different comfort level now in terms of understanding what my role is and how to do it better. And it's funny because when you're the coordinator, you can actually have a good period. When you're the head coach, doesn't matter who wins or loses. The head coach usually has just frustrated with somebody somehow or other. But, that's part of being the head coach.
Okay. Now to break this down, you hear how he's excited about the coaching staff. I'm so excited about the coaching staff. Now you think, well, why would he be so excited and you're the one that picked him? Because when he was in Denver, he did not pick his coaching staff. I was going to do a video on comparison of the Denver coaching staff he had compared to the coaching staff he has here with the coaching staff he has here with the Raiders. And when I was digging through the information, what I came out and what I noticed, just about every coach he had in Denver were previous coaches of Denver, whether it was under Dan Reeves or Mike Shanahan. The offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, running back coach, the list goes on, of all former Denver Donkeys coaches that were under different regimes during that history of that organization. And that told me right there, Josh McDaniels didn't get to pick none of his people. None of these people that was on Denver's coaching staff has he ever interacted with anywhere. And we know it's only going to be New England, because that's where he was before he went to Denver. You know what I mean? But none of them was with him in New England. These are all, and you got to remember, old horse mouth, old horse teeth. You know what I'm talking about? Elway, old horse teeth ass, dictated to Josh McDaniels and gave him his coaching staff. So how can you? It's like, okay, I want you to come run this department at the job. And you'd be like, well, if you want me to run this department, these are the people I'm going to need in there to make this shit run right. If they don't get you those people, and they be like, no, you just got to work with what you got. How do they expect you to succeed you with people that they force upon you and not the people you know can make that situation right? And that's what Denver did. Denver forced all the fucking coaches and coordinators on Josh McDaniels his first time around, and it wasn't right. He didn't get power until later, till later on, not that first year. He didn't have no power at all. So with that being said, he comes to the Raiders. Now he gets to handpick every single person that's on his team. Are you happy with Patrick Graham? McDaniels did that. You happy with Rob Ryan? McDaniels did that. You know what I mean? His coaching staff, he did. Lombardi, you happy with that? McDaniels done that. See, there's going to be a night and day difference between what he did in Denver to what he did with us. And that's a fact. Watch what I tell you. I guarantee you. You compare after this season, watch what happens. Compare this season with his first season in Denver, and you tell me where was his best success at. And failure, like I tell my son, do not be fearful of failure. Failure, you embrace that shit. Because what failure teaches you, it teaches you what not to do the next time around. So now he's with us. He knows what not to do. That's the only thing we need to correct is your failures. When you succeed, hey, it's okay to get a pat on the back and an applause, but that shit don't matter because you're already doing it right. The shit that you're doing wrong, what needs to be fixed. So to fuck up in life is the most beautiful thing you can have because life is the best teacher. So when you fuck up in life, don't be like, oh man, I fucked up. You embrace that fuck up. You learn from that fuck up and be like, I'm not going to do that shit next time. And that's exactly what Josh McDaniels is doing. Second time around, he is not going to fuck up. Watch what I tell you. Don't be surprised. Hey, I know we talk Super Bowl. I know we optimistic. We say this shit every year, but God damn it, I really have faith in what's going on right now. Because here's the other key. You know what? Let's finish the Josh McDaniels, and then we'll have a Q&A section with all you guys, and then we'll go over what we heard and what we feel, what he meant, and so forth. So let's finish it out, and then we going to talk with it. My family. We going to talk with my family, my Raider Nation family. You feel me? All right, let's go.
Coach, even though you had leaders on this team like Derek Carr and Max Crosby that were here before you, are you pleased with the way they've been able to take your vision and be able to spread it across the rest of the roster?
Yeah. I mean, it's our
shout out Pyro, man. Thank you for
of
pulling
what to
up, man.
do,
I
but
appreciate you for
ultimately,
real.
The culture is going to be decided by the people that do that, that take it and lead within their own part
Exactly,
of the
two
building,
red
whether
rings.
it's
Mark
players
Davis
in the
did his
locker
thing.
room, coaches,
He did his thing. He
the
did it what
people
he
at the
was
top of
supposed
their
to.
departments. They're the ones responsible, and so we just want to come in and work hard. We want to try to put the team first, and do our job and try to do everything we can to get better each day. And they're the ones that do all the hard work, So very pleased with the way that the guys are leading, the effort that they put in, the time that they put in, how much they demand of themselves, which I think you have to do before you can start pushing other people. It just speaks for itself. And then, there's a lot of players that are following the right people. So excited about this group, pleased with what they're doing so far, and still got a long way to go, and eager to see how that's going to turn out as we go through the rest of the spring.
there's a lot of competition and a lot of learning going on in the quarterback room, but how much does having Jarrett Stidham, who is familiar with your system as long as
Jarrett
he has been
Stidham,
in
the
league,
quarterback
how
that
much
he got from the
Yeah, I
Patriots.
mean,
Listen,
anytime you change teams and go somewhere where you're familiar with that, you can kind of skip a step or two. And Jarrett is now coming into a place where he knows the terminology, which is a good thing. It doesn't mean that the performance is always going to be exactly what it needs to be, but it gives you a little bit of a leg up in terms of how quickly you can get to a point where you can function and do all those things. I think Jarrett's done a tremendous job too of sharing. And that's always a big thing. He's very unselfish. He's a great human being and he's a great teammate. So coming here and being, giving with his time, whether it's Nick or Chase or Derek, just having open conversations with those guys, because he's actually been through this process with the same person, who's kind of pushing him in that direction now.
Shout out to Cash Lord
he's got a
Raider.
familiarity
Hey,
with
thank you
Bo
for
and
pulling
Nick,
up, man.
myself, Harmon.
Good morning to you.
He's
Good
heard
morning.
some of the terminology. He's been in some of those meetings. He's heard the corrections. So he's been great, in terms of just being able to share information and try to improve the whole group.
Last three guys will go John, Hondo, and Vinny.
There's a lot of curiosity if this is going to be
This is John Hondo, in case y'all don't know from Twitter.
how much operationally mirrors what you did there.
Like I said, it's hard for anybody to leave there, and I didn't know this a while ago, but it's hard for anybody to leave there and try to replicate everything that happens there. And it's probably true across the board in all the sports, and I made the mistake of trying to do too much of that the first time. I think you just got to be able to be yourself, and I think we have a good thing going in terms of the direction that we've started things in. But there's definitely the football part of it and the belief in what the belief in how to win or lose and some of the strategy and those kind of things. Very, very much what I know. That's all I know. But I would say the interpersonal interactions each day, the flow of the day, some of those other things that you could choose to copy if you wanted to. We have a lot of great people, like I said, and so being able to just, give them their responsibility, they know what their roles are, and let them go do their jobs. I think is really important for me. It's really important for them to know that I support them and that I'm just here to be a resource and try to help them if I can. And if I can't, then I'm going to learn from them. So it's been great in terms of just trying to put that.
MA5, thank you for pulling up, my guy, for real. Good morning to you, man. Good morning.
It's not going to be that way. I'm not Bill, and I don't.
Ooh, and a nice sativa.
So I'm not going to try.
That sounds good.
I just want to try to be myself, and hopefully I can be a good leader for our team.
Josh, you signed Chandler and Devontae, two superstars, but they come in with no ego, no prima donna, and have quickly become leaders. What's that say about their work ethic and character that the team's already following and they've only been here 2 weeks?
Yeah, they're really good people. I mean, they're great human beings, and they come in to work, and they don't presume to be treated any differently, and I think that's a great thing. It speaks a lot to their teammates. They want to be one of the guys, and if they do something wrong, we correct them just like we would correct someone else. They don't want to be receiving special treatment, and I think that really helps the messaging, and they're willing to take time with other players. They're also really two of our hardest workers, so they're out there busting their butt. They're trying to learn and improve in their own role in the system, and then help others along the way. But their presence here speaks a lot to what their goals are.
Y'all not alone.
Help our team improve. They want to improve individually and try to make their units as good as they can be. And two huge acquisitions. Among others, as you see, there's a lot of new people out there, obviously, that are working really hard, but really excited to coach both of those guys and see how they can acclimate, as Raiders this year.
Josh, you had mentioned during the offseason the importance of getting to know Derek Carr, the person, building that human relationship. You're now getting into the football aspect of Derek Carr, and he seems like a football nerd in a lot of ways. How's that relationship going and just that interaction going from a football sense?
Great.
Listen,
I really
about Derek
enjoy
Carr.
him
Listen.
In every way. He's a great human being, and he's a really smart football player. And you don't have to say it 5 times for him to get it. There's a natural way he learns that is pretty easy for a coach, and he's a great leader. So His teammates follow him. He's a competitive guy. He wants to do it the way you want it done, which I love that about him. He knows that I'll give him some gray, but he don't want the gray. He wants, hey, tell me exactly how you want it done. I'm gonna try to do it that way. So just a great process. Really excited about the time I've got to spend with him so far, and looking forward to developing that relationship more and more as we go. A very coachable guy. Like I said, sets the bar high, here early, stays late.
Hit that like button. Hit that like button.
You got it. Have a great Memorial Day.
Thank you.
All right. That's it right there. That's Josh McDaniels. Now, you listen to everything he say. The things that I listen to is about him and Derek Carr. And this is exactly why I say the league is in trouble. These two, McDaniels and Carr, mark my word, Carr is about to have a career season this year. Easy. Just because of the type of dude he is. You know what I mean? The type of quarterback. Like he said, he doesn't want to try to come off the cuff and do the plays the way he thinks is going to work. He wants to do it exactly what Josh McDaniels expects of him. Come on now. I'm telling you, this right here is going to breed some shit out of Carr that's like, and y'all, some of y'all might laugh because y'all might not be Carr like fans or whatnot. And it's not about being a Carr fan. It's about being a Raider fan. This is your quarterback. You got to get behind him. You don't want him to fail. You know what I mean? But this will be a year that I believe Carr will have career numbers, because when was the last time Carr had an offensive coordinator? And I know McDaniels is not the offensive coordinator, but he is calling the plays. When is the last time that Carr had somebody like Josh McDaniels? I'll wait. Kiwi, strawberry, banana. Hey, thank you for pulling up. Good morning to you, my guy. Good morning. My guy, my gal, I don't know. It's all fruit names, so you can't blame me. It ain't my fault. You naming kiwi, bananas, and shit. I don't know. Good morning to you anyway. It doesn't matter, male or female. Good morning. Thank you for pulling up, and feel free to pull up whenever I'm on in the mornings. Man, for real. But we're talking Josh McDaniels and Derek Carr. Now, the thing that I'm getting between these two is a strong connection. As far as coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterback. They will have a perfect marriage this year. I like he and Josh McDaniels just told you, and from what I listen to Josh McDaniels, he don't sugarcoat shit. If shit ain't happening exactly how he is expecting it, he's gonna let you know. That's just the way it is. And that's exactly what the fuck he said. So now he said Carr is the type of quarterback where you don't have to tell him 5 times how to do some shit. He gets it. Man, I'm telling you, a lot of people not Carr. Carr mentally, Carr is an elite quarterback mentally. What we want to see is the consistency of him mentally with his physical ability. But see, we can't sit here and just say that, because that's not the only thing that we hope that he correlates is his physical with his mental. Because the thing is this, we sit up here and we talk about how bad these offensive coordinators are with the Raiders, but yet you expect Carr to, this and that. There's a combination of everything that makes Carr what he is. Some of it is on him, but you can't. Who's the person mentoring him? Think about that. Is the offensive coordinator mentoring Carr as far as trying to groom him and bring him up? And then if he is, who was our offensive coordinators? Coordinators that nobody wanted, like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So let's put him with McDaniels. That's why I said this year, this is Carr's last hurrah. This is his last hurrah. If he does not produce on a high quality level under Josh McDaniels, weapons, good offensive line, and a good solid defense, if he does not perform and produce, I can't be mad at the people that did not like Carr and say, hey, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. But you know what? Deep inside of my heart, listening to Josh McDaniels and listening to Carr when they do talk to Carr, this is a match made in heaven. This is what Carr has been needing all his career. Not just a play caller, but a coach. See, Gruden did his little thing, but see, Gruden was trying to, I think he was a little bit too cocky. You know what I mean? He was too cocky in his own sake, his own namesake, the Gruden name. Like, I'm John Gruden. But Josh McDaniels knows he went through. See, put it like this. You remember I told you earlier about how failure is something you need to embrace, and that's what makes you great because you learn what not to do? Tell me this. When John Gruden was coaching, when did he fail? I'll wait. When did Gruden fail as a head coach of a team? And then we're going to get back to current time right now. Because I'm going to tell you, Gruden did not fail with the Raiders. He made us a Super Bowl team. Then you go to Tampa Bay, and a lot of people say that was Tony Dungy's Super Bowl because that team was already built. But it took the fact that Gruden was taking that Tampa Bay Buccaneer team against a team that he will not build, but he coached and managed. So he knew every single flaw, every single imperfection. And when they got into the Super Bowl against us, he exploited that. We heard it on the sideline. You know what I mean? When he was telling what's his name, don't go for the it's a pump fake that Gannon was throwing. Don't go for the pump fake. Come on now. 3 pick sixes? Who in the fuck throws 3 pick sixes? Unless the motherfucker on the other sideline knew exactly what the fuck you were doing. Gruden never failed. The only time he failed, and he didn't really fail with us, because they progressed. Every year they had more wins, just at a slow fucking pace. Slower than what most owners expect. They don't want to take 5 years to win a Super Bowl. They're trying to get one within 2 and 3. I'm telling you, the impatience, and you got to understand, a lot of these owners is 80 years old. So you figure, patience they don't got. They might die in 3 years. They want a Super Bowl in 2 then. They might die in 5 years. They want a Super Bowl in 3. That's why the rush is on. But Mark Davis ain't that age. Mark Davis knows he is good. We're a playoff team. He got the pieces in here that he felt can take this team to the next level. Now it's on them. The coaching staff, the players, they went out and got everybody they needed. Now it's on them. And if they don't produce, hey, you probably get one more year. You probably get one more opportunity to try to bring it all in after a failure in the first year. But you know what? To be honest with you, I'm going to keep it 100. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are on the same page. How many of you guys feel confident that the players that we got, the coaching staff we got, and the front office is exactly what we need to win a Super Bowl? Not saying that we are going to win a Super Bowl, but is everything, the shit that we need to win one, do we have it? Let me ask you that question. On a 53-man roster, 16-man practice squad, Ziegler in front office with Champ Kelly, McDaniels along with Lombardi, and Patrick Graham, and Rob Ryan, and it goes on. Do you feel that we have enough to be a contender for the Lombardi Trophy? Let me know in the chat. I want to know. Shout out to Holly, man. Thank you for pulling up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you said we need a couple of more pieces. So are those, so you don't feel we can compete for a Super Bowl with what we have? Because I'm pretty sure those couple of pieces ain't really like a dramatic piece to be like, oh, like getting a new quarterback. You know what I mean? Like getting a new fucking shit defense is hey, the defense got to play as in unison. It doesn't matter if you got a defensive tackle, defensive end, safety, corner, linebacker. That is one unit. Only the offense, the quarterback has all that responsibility on his shoulder. You know what I mean? But do you think we can compete with without adding any more players? I didn't say win the Super Bowl, but do you think we have enough right now from all levels, front office, coaching, players, just to compete for a Super Bowl? That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Yes, NorCal Raider. I believe. Hey, I think the same. Like I said, I didn't say enough to. Cause look what we had last year. Okay, here's a two-part question. Compare last year's roster and the front office and the coaching staff to this year's team with the front office and the coaching staff. Which team is better? Is this year's team better? And we only can go by paper because this team has not played yet. But looking at it on paper, well, matter of fact, looking at this year's team on paper compared to what last year's team did, what team is better? Is last year's team better than this year's team? Or is this year's team better than last year's? Let me ask that question, and then we'll get into the second part of that. Exactly, M85. I feel the same way. It's a D, but I'm not saying we can win the Super Bowl with this roster. Don't get me wrong. I did not say we can win it, but can we be contenders for the Super Bowl? Can we contend in the AFC to get to the Super Bowl? That's what I was asking. And you guys answered it. Hey, you guys answered it right. But the other question, remember I asked you, was last year's Raider team better than this year's Raiders team? Honestly, what do you believe? With everything last year's team had, the same players they had last year, the same coaching staff. Okay, if you want to throw Gruden in there and say, well, if Gruden was there, throw that in the mix. We can Gruden, or it don't matter. It don't matter. And then the front office. Compare that team to this team. Which team do you think is better by far? Which one you think is better? And hey, shout out to Van City Raider. He said this team is 10 times better than last year's team. Okay, and shout out to Fear the Nation. Say the same thing by far. Okay, so let me get back to this point. So with this team being way better than last year's team, right? Last year's team went to the playoffs as a wild card, went into Cincinnati as a wild card, and took that team a phantom, or not even a phantom. It was a whistle that they said wasn't a whistle, and let that touchdown at the end of the game stand to go ahead and you know what I mean, get that 7 points. And then we came down through an interception, but it shouldn't have came that far. We should have been playing with the lead. We should be, even if it came down to a field goal. We was in field goal range when we got the interception in that Cincinnati playoff game. We was in the red zone when we threw the interception, but we wouldn't have even needed that. Not on fourth down. Just play for the tie, going to overtime, and whoop their ass in overtime. We was going toe-to-toe with the AFC representative of the Super Bowl last year with that roster. Now look at this roster. That's why I said I know we could contend for a Super Bowl. Now we might need, exactly correct you guys, we might need a couple of players to just shift the needle over the middle. Just to put it like, okay, they're not just Super Bowl contenders. They can actually win this shit. And I believe Darrell Williams and Ndamukong Suh, and then you extend Renfro. I think we're solid then. You anchor down the trenches on offense and defense with Darrell Williams on offense, right tackle. Because if we do sign him as right tackle, that means right guard, it will settle itself. Because all these players right now that's on that right side of the line can play both guard and tackle. So that means if tackle is solidified with Darrell Williams, and then you get a good backup behind him, everybody else is going to have to compete for the guard position, and the best man will win that fucking job. And if that happens, that means we will have a fucking offensive line for that ass. And then in this offense with Carr and Adams and Renfro and Waller and Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake and Zamir White and Britton Brown, the list goes on. We are deep as fuck. You know what I mean? We are deep. And with this offense, I'm gonna tell you this. Here's something that, and this is something that Brandon Marshall said. Brandon Marshall was playing with Denver under Josh McDaniels, right? He did not like Josh McDaniels. But one thing that this man dug his heels into the ground, and he admitted full-heartedly, 100% truth. He said the one thing about, they asked him, who was the best coach you ever played for? And you got to remember, Josh McDaniels and Brandon Marshall, they bumped heads. Brandon Marshall came out and said Josh McDaniels was the best coach he ever played for, because every game he being Josh McDaniels, made Brandon Marshall feel like they can win that game. Now, if you get the right talent on the team and you make all those elite ass players on that team feel like they can win the game, most likely 9 times out of 10, they're going to win the game. So it's like a perfect marriage between Josh McDaniels and this offense. This is what the Raider offense needed. All right. You needed other parts as well. The things that's complementing the offense is also the defense. If you can keep the score low, manageable, and you have a high-powered offense, most times that will keep you in the game and enough to win the game if it's a close game. You see what I'm saying? So Josh McDaniels and Derek Carr is something that Derek Carr needed and something Josh McDaniels needed. Don't get it twisted. Josh McDaniels need Carr too. Because the best thing, look at the best thing that McDaniels ever had. Come on, this man hand down is the GOAT. We don't like the motherfucker because of the Tuck rule and keeping us from going on our dynasty run. But it is what it is. You cannot deny that Tom Brady is the GOAT. Who was under Tom Brady offensively, and who was grooming Tom Brady? Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels haven't had a quarterback as good as Tom Brady since Tom Brady, besides Carr. Carr's the next best. I didn't say Carr is fucking Tom Brady. I didn't say that shit. What I said is Carr is the best quarterback that Josh McDaniel has had since he had fucking Tom Brady under him. Offensive coordinator, quarterback guru, whatever you want to call Josh McDaniels, that's what he was. Come on now. And it's not the only time that happened. How do you think Garoppolo went to the 49ers for so many picks? Because Garoppolo also was in the system under Josh McDaniels. And when Brady got hurt, Garoppolo went in and went 4-0 in the first 4 games. Or was he suspended? Injury or suspension, Tom Brady? I can't remember. I think it might have been injury. No, because the injury when he hurt his knee was not him. It was another quarterback that came in and did good when Brady was gone. Who was the quarterback that New England had when Brady hurt his knee? He came in and won games, and then they traded him off. Was it Matt Flynn? No, not Matt Flynn. Kansas City. He went to Kansas City, didn't he? They traded him to Kansas City. It began with a C, right? Castle. Matt Castle? Wasn't it Matt Castle? He said Carr fucking who? Carr gonna fuck the whole AFC and the NFC this year. I said it. Carr gonna do the damage. Big Daddy long stroke on their ass. On their ass. Hold on real quick. I bet you. Because I'm telling you, Josh McDaniels has a pedigree with coaching up quarterbacks. Okay, so let me go in here real quick. Yes, it was Matt Castle. Matt Castle was with New England from 2005 and 2008. You remember Tom Brady got hurt. Castle came in and took over and balled. And then New England traded him to Kansas City in 2009 or 2008 for the 2009 season. But then and he didn't do good. All them other teams he didn't do shit for. But the system in New England, he strived. He strived. What do you think Carr gonna do in that system that Josh McDaniels brings to the Raiders? Let's keep it 100 for real. Let's go. Let's go. No. You don't need Brady characters, though, on the team. That's the whole thing. Even though Josh McDaniels, Ziegler, and Lombardi and them came from New England, they let it be known that this is not the New England way. Because you got to think about it like this. Think about you are a supervisor at your job. Now, as a supervisor, do you get to run that department the way you want to? Or is it by the guidelines that the powers that be that's above you want you to run it? You see what I mean? So with Josh McDaniels in New England, did he get to run his system? No. He ran it the way that the upper above of the pyramid told him to get your ass out there, and this is how you're going to. Belichick told him what offense to run. If it wasn't him, it was somebody else. Kraft said, I want an offense. Because remember, Al Davis did the same shit. Al Davis knew exactly what kind of offense he wanted. So when you look at Gruden didn't make the Raiders successful in the 2000s. That was Al Davis. Al Davis picked the coaching staff. Al Davis drafted the players and signed the free agent players and told Gruden, coach them. But he gave him Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, Gannon, Wheatley. You know what I mean? Rod Woodson. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, Al Davis put that team together and just told Gruden to coach them. And he probably told Gruden what kind of offense he wanted and what kind of defense he wanted. Because you know he always liked the vertical game. So you know that vertical is included in any offense you're running. You know what I mean? Defense as well. Because I heard stories from Warren Sapp saying that they brought him in from Tampa Bay. That's when Warren Sapp came in for the Raiders. And Rob Ryan was a defensive coordinator. But Rob Ryan was running a 4-3, I think a 4-3 defense. And Warren Sapp wasn't getting to the quarterback, and the defense wasn't really doing too much. But I forgot the other player on the team that told Warren Sapp, if you got a problem with the defense, take it to Al Davis. And Warren Sapp said he went to Al Davis and said, look, what did you bring me here for? And Al Davis said, excuse me? He said, why did you bring me here? What did you want me to do? And Al Davis said, get the quarterback. He said, well, I can't get the quarterback in a 4-3. Make it a 3-4 and let me do what I do. So I forgot the player that told Sapp to go tell Al Davis that. So Al Davis went in, and I guess he told fucking Rob Ryan change the defense, because when they had the meetings, Rob Ryan went off and said, somebody in here went behind my back and told Al, and now we're running a 3-4 now. He was pissed. But it was Sapp, because another player, I forgot the player that told Sapp, hey, go tell Al Davis. If you got a problem you want to fix, go to Al Davis. He said, but what about going to the coach? No, you go to Al. So Sapp went to Al. Al told Rob Ryan, this is what the fuck we doing. And Rob Ryan had to do it. He was pissed. But that very next game with Warren Sapp in a 3-4, Warren Sapp had 3 fucking sacks. That's the story I know. You know what I mean? Warren Sapp told that story. So, yeah, man, this team, I think this is the first time in a while that this team could really be very balanced. Both sides on the defense as well as the offense. They added pieces. Look at the pieces they added. It was kind of like a mirror image The offense and the defense is like, okay, what we gonna do? Okay, we need to get Devontae Adams. That's what offense did. Oh, you got Devontae Adams? The defense. Defense said, well, fuck it. We gonna go get Chandler Jones. Oh, you gonna get Chandler Jones? You know what I mean? So it's like an arms race amongst our own team, which is beautiful because this is who's practicing against each other in practice. Our defense versus their offense. And here's the next level of it. Josh McDaniels, right? Patrick Graham. They're going to be cerebral with this shit. They're going to be playing chess. And like they say, iron sharpens iron. That's exactly what you want. You want them two motherfuckers in practice going at it with the weapons they have on both their defense and their offense and see who is better. That's going to make us better, y'all. Hands down. I don't know if, Florida boy, I don't know if we're signing Sue. And like I said, every move that the Raiders have made thus far this season is like a wait and see. You got to wait until actually the move happens, and then they're reporting, oh, yeah, by the way, the Raiders signed Ndamukong Suh. So we got to wait and see. June 2nd is the date to keep your eye on and wait for. That's next week. We will know a lot what goes on next year. Next year for real. Van City, I don't know about 2 to 3 more pieces. And plus, if we have confidence in the front office and the coaching staff like we say we do, are we going to question anybody that they have faith in? If there's somebody on this team that they have faith in to be starters on the offensive line, on the defensive line, at corner, whatever other positions that you feel that we got to go ahead and fix, if they have confidence in people that's on here now that can go ahead and fill in that void, would you be concerned if they're the ones making that decision? Because so far, every decision they made knocked it out the park. As far as I'm concerned, they wouldn't address everything that we really needed, especially when you go with the theory of building a team in the trenches. If you believe in that, that's what the Raiders have done. And if they happen to go out and get Darrell Williams, free agent right tackle, and Ndamukong Suh, free agent defensive tackle, nose tackle, if they sign those two some way, somehow, the trenches are solidified with Warriors. I'm telling you. They're creating a monster right now. It's going to be very bad for other teams that have to face us because I'm going to tell you why. Defensively and offensively, both of those two groups are multifaceted. And for those that know what multifaceted is, that means they are equipped with being able to do multiple things on that defense. Have you ever heard of the term amoeba defense? Amoeba changes. You know what I mean? Amoeba changes. So the amoeba defense, they throw a lot of different looks at offenses, and it starts confusing them. That's why when I heard Patrick Graham talk about a 3-4, a 4-3, a 4-2-5, I said, okay, he wants to do something different against every team. That's in essence is like an amoeba defense. Now, with that being said, how do other teams prepare for a team that they don't know what that team is going to do? And I remember people saying when they have seen the schedule that we go on the road to LA and face the LA Chargers. Some people that was like guessing the win-loss totals with our team, they were giving that first game of the season a loss to the Chargers because the Chargers wouldn't get back from last year as well as us going to LA. Well, I'm sorry to inform those who thought that L was coming because that L is not coming at all. And this is why. So explain this to me. The Chargers wouldn't get back from last season when we eliminated their ass from the playoffs, correct? When all they had to do was not take a timeout. We were probably pretty much going to take a knee, go into overtime, finish overtime tied, and both teams get into the postseason, right? So if the Chargers are mad and want get back from that game, and they come into this season to face us, how are they going to prepare for us? Let me know. What game film does this Raider team with this offense and these players have that's out there for week 1 of the season? Week 1. What do the LA Chargers have to go back and refer to go ahead and beat us this year? Are you going to go look at that last game of the season last year when it was not McDaniels and not an Adams and not a Chandler Jones and a Yasin? Come on now. A Bilal Nichols? You know what I mean? DeMarcus Robinson? None of them was here. So what game film do you have to study to come and beat us and give us revenge for the loss you took last year? That's all I want to know. What you're going to study? Or do you got to play it out and just go along and see what happens until the score is 21-0 in the third quarter, and by then it's too late because you didn't know what to expect from what we were coming to bring to you guys in LA? I'm telling you, they're at a exactly, Tubby Child, a W. Okay, now let's flip it. What do we have to look at to go ahead and play against the Chargers? Last year's game film, right? Because that's the same fucking coaches and players, right? Yeah, you added Khalil Mack, J.C. Jackson, but it's the same system, right? Same coaches. It's not going to be hard for us. We know what we did against y'all last year, but y'all don't know what the fuck we going to do this year. But we know what you going to do. We got game film on you. 2 games last year we played y'all. It's the same coaches. What the fuck is they going to change? The same players. You added a couple. J.C. Jackson. You know what I mean? Khalil Mack. All right. You got them. Put them in. What game film they going to watch? Oh no, what game film of our offense are those guys going to watch? What, J.C. Jackson going to watch Adams from Green Bay that ain't running the same system we running here in Vegas? Go ahead. Watch that shit. The shit you study for in that film, it's going to bite you in your ass because none of that shit being ran. Disadvantage chokers, for real. Oh, it's going to be leaps and bounds for real. Hey, Tom Cable is a zone blocking motherfucker. But you're using zone blocking with players that are in a power blocking scheme, that A-gap power blocking scheme. You know what I mean? What the fuck is fuck that zone shit. Give us some motherfuckers just to go heads up, and then at the point of attack, you have 2 offensive linemen. The guard could come around into the gap. You know what I mean? To be that other, I'm telling you, our run game will be immaculate this year underneath a new blocking scheme, which is the power blocking scheme that we're running. No more zone blocking. Zone blocking is gone for real. Hey, Fear the Nation, you are correct. This coaching staff will, you're not wrong though, but this coaching staff is going to utilize the skills. Hey, for real, I'm telling you, it's a perfect marriage. They got the right coaches for the right players. You listen to what Josh McDaniels said. You remember I said we were going to watch listen to the interview again and break it down. Listen to what he says. He basically said this team is not hard to coach. Now, they're learning a new system, new language, you know what I mean, when it comes to calling the plays, the new verbiage. But once they get a hold of that, they are willing to learn it and apply it on the field. This is a perfect marriage. You got coaches who want to coach, and you got motherfucking players who want to be coached. So it's like, hey, the league done fucked up. I'm telling you. For them to add what they added, player-wise and front office and coaches, they should have never let it. They should have never let that shit happen. I'm saying it first. Well, lunatic, what makes you so optimistic? Come on now. I can read in between lines. I can read in between lines and I understand what direction the current is going. And right now, the current of this team is going in a direction that leads to a Lombardi trophy. That's it. Damn, we on here 7-10. But shit, I'm keeping this shit riding until I'm getting ready to get off in a minute though. But man, I'm telling you, this shit here, what we got going is something special. Because I can see that certain kind of coaches need certain kind of players to succeed. And certain kind of players need certain kind of coaches to succeed. See, it's hand in hand. But these two hands were made for each other. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, I see this shit. I'm reading between the lines. What each side, what the players need and what the coaches need, now they have. And I'm telling you, this is going to be something. Hey, I don't want to talk Super Bowl and shit so early, but I'm looking at last year's team and how far they went and how hard they competed with the AFC representative of the Super Bowl on their home field as a wild card with all the turmoil we were going through at the time. I see that team. Now they got stability with the front office and coaching staff. They added players that are like the best at what they do. Chandler Jones is the best at what he does. You know what I mean? Fucking Devontae Adams is the best at what he does. And then you give them a strong supporting cast. The sky's the limit. The sky's the limit, you guys. I'm telling you. The sky is the motherfucking limit. Not Wi-Fi, what? Not Wi-Fi wheels, what? The thing we have is 17 different game plans. So when we play them again, we're going to hit them something else. Hey, you're correct. You're correct. Because see, what happens is, after the first time we face a divisional foe, right? There's game film. But the game film that we went into the game with won't be the game film that we look at to face them again, because there's going to be a lot of things that you change. Like you're going to adjust and adapt. You know what I mean? Or adapt and adjust. It doesn't matter. Adapt and adjust to what the fuck the other team is doing. So you might be learning shit as you go in the first game. There might be a little wrinkle they throw out there that you never seen before, but now you got that wrinkle on film. You know what I mean? That little trick play they never ran against you, and they decided to run it against you in that game one. You got that on film, so you know what to expect. Expect everything. So I'm saying they're at a disadvantage, and then at the same time, the flip side, they have film of us, and they can go back and look. But like you say, we change. We might change that defense from after watching the film from game one, like game two. If we do this defense, we really can get on their ass. But they're going to be looking at the defense we ran in game one. That is the complication of having like an amoeba type defense. A lot of offenses get kind of dumbfounded because they don't know what to expect. When shit changes up, they can't. It's hard because you need it to happen multiple times for it to register like, they're doing this. You know what I mean? And then if you give them multiple things to worry about, shit, good luck. Good luck, motherfucker. You know what I mean? But look, y'all, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for pulling up. Man, hey, shout out to 2 Red Rings. Hey, exactly. 7 o'clock. Here we go, you guys. Before I let you go up out of here, this is the last 6 a.m. show Pacific Standard Time. Starting Monday, Good Morning Raider Nation will start at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. So every Monday through Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you will get a Good Morning Raider Nation podcast live on Raiders Allegiance with yours truly, Lunatic Raider, at 7 a.m. Pacific. So don't get it mixed up, you guys. We're doing it an hour later just so I'm trying to accommodate both coasts. And there's people throughout the world that's not here in America that also watch this podcast. I got somebody hit me up already from Mexico City. We got people from Australia. I got people from the Philippines. We got worldwide attention right now. It's not a lot of numbers right now, but they're growing. Like I said, we're growing. We're growing. This channel is doing this thing, and I thank you guys because of that. So if this is your first time here, please do me a solid. Please subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. And I say hit the hell out of, or knock the hell out of that notification bell so you could be notified of all the content I release, even breaking news, because I got a lot of things in the mix for the nation. I got 3 shows that I am producing for this channel during the season. I'm also working with another content creator on something that we got collabing. That's going to be a show once a week. But I don't want to get into details. Once we get this shit solidified and up and running, you guys will be known. But I can tell you who the other content creator is. It's Dirty Raider. Me and Dirty Raider got something in the mix, very special for you guys, and it's going to be a weekly show. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to speak on it. We're in the process of developing this show for you guys. So I hit that notification bell so you can be notified of when we drop these episodes. You know what I mean? I like to thank each and every one of you guys. Like I said, if you're new here, just subscribe, hit the like button. It's free. It does not cost a dime. We talk good football every morning, every weekday. Good Morning Raider Nation is the podcast. Raiders Allegiance is the channel. And Lunatic Raider is your host. I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for pulling up. May you have a beautiful Friday. May you and your family be blessed. And you know what? You guys go ahead and just do what you do. Have fun. Enjoy life. Treat each other with respect and love. And I'll see you guys Monday, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Remember that shit. Write that shit down. Get it tattooed on your face. Or get it, you know what I mean? Shit. I love y'all motherfuckers, man. Raider Nation, there's only one. Without you, there's no me. And without us, there's no nation. There's only one nation. Raider Nation. God bless. Enjoy your Friday, you guys. Oh, and I will be on Saturday night with live from the Raiders Asylum with Lunatic Raider. So if you want to pull up at 11 p.m. Pacific, 2 a.m. Eastern, Saturday night, come pull up on the live, you guys. Come pull up, show your support, like, share, all that good shit. Subscribe to the channel. And once again, I'm Lunatic Raider. You've been watching Good Morning Raider Nation. This is Raiders Allegiance, and I'm out.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it.